the forwarder or the consultator can provide the CSN number on the same screen as well as the CFS data of module which is already there, and you can process it for the SCMT. So as I mentioned, the CSN generation and it's already on a single screen. So CSN generation, just you have to, your customer need to come on the ODEX portal, provide all the HBL details, generate the CSN file, and attach the digital signature and provide it on the iSCAPE. Once on the iSCAPE, this is already there and it is approved, then you will receive the acknowledgement number from the iSCAPE. And this is one of the elite and the premier services which is available on ODEX, where as a NVOCC or as a liner, all the details about the CSN number you will receive on the ODEX portal. So this is another from the single screen, your customer can come and provide all the manifestation details as well as the CSN number. From the NVOCC point or as a liner point of view, to process the SCMT file, you have to provide the vessel detail, vessel crew list details, vessel itinerary, and on the single platform, the entire process will be processed. As well as from your principal system, you can upload all the MBL data and generate the file as per the iSCAPE requirement. As well as I mentioned in the previous slide, you can merge all your HBL data and generate the CSN from the forwarder. As well as you can merge all your CFS and the DPD nomination from the customer. So this will be a real-time update regarding the CSN and the CIN receipt from the iSCAPE. From the feeder point of view, this is the process. Suppose there are 3 MLO, and each MLO can provide all the details and collate all the details on the ODEX portal, MLO1, MLO2, and MLO3. And further, as a viewer or the feeder operator, you can get all the details on ODEX and generate the SCMT file. So in further, I will show you the screen how you can generate the SCMT file also. So as I mentioned previously, the things which is going to be changed as per the new SCMT guidelines regarding the import documentations. So with the manifest to be filed for all the cargo on board on the vessel, not for only for import and export. So this is the major changes happening with the SCMTR. Every cargo manifest will be uniquely identified through the unique number or the reference number. Currently, SMTP number is assigned for import ICD by rail and road container only. As well as the same bottom cargo too will have a unique number which needs to be tagged in manifest at all Indian ports. If vessel calls from one port to another Indian port, then at the departure, as I mentioned, CIN number is required, where only you have to declare the CIN number. There is no need of providing all the details. Again, the deadline of the choice of DPD and CFS HBL is going to be shifted from the will be shifted at the last foreign port of call, because all the details which is before vessel is leaving from the last port. So these details you have to furnish. IEC GST PAN code is required to be updated for all the importers. HS code for each cargo will be required to be updated in the manifest. In case of LCL cargo container containing multiple cargo, HS code will be required to be updated in a loop. So this is the changes as per the import. In terms of export, basically shipper have to file the primary cargo identification number. So shipper will have to file manifest once the cargo leave from their premises, which will be known as primary cargo identification number. This number will be generated from the customs system. If multiple consolidated cargo is in the container, then aggregation of the multiple PCN will be called as a cargo summary notification number. Since the consolidated cargo contained in a transport document will be aggregation for the multiple PCN will be filed. Consolidator forwarder is required to file CSN before filing of the manifest by the vessel operator. Again, these are the changes as per the export point of view. These are the few changes with the new SCMTR regulations. Rotation number will be used as a common number to file arrival for the departure manifest. VCN number to be used by co-loader and forwarder to file CSN. A few of the things which is mandatory, like the HS code, consigner city, country code, consignee code, type of code, PAN of notified party, etc., are mandatory field. Mode of transport to be used in the manifest. So these are the changes as per the export regulations in the SCMTR. Over to now, we can go ahead with the FAQs, and over to Biju sir.
Yeah, thanks, Kumar. So I think that was a free flow of all the process what we need to be following. We'll open this session for individuals to have queries on this, including someone was raising this query about how to go about with the registration part also. So if you could touch upon that first, and then if somebody is new to SCMT and they want to register themselves, if you could guide them, is it possible now or it has to be taken up separately? Yeah, Kumar.
Yeah, Sangam will.
Regarding registration, all the parties who are already registered, they need to go to the IceGate website. They need to define the type. There are a different type of entities like ASA, that is an authorized C agent, ASC, authorized C carrier, okay, AMC, non-carrier, authorized non-carrier entities. So there are a different entities under which NVOCC, shipping lines, and freight forwarders are falling. So they need to get themselves registered accordingly.
So I think that is the answer to the queries of many who were there, how to start with the registration part of it. Is there anything else which needs to be addressed?
Yeah, there is one more thing I would like to add. Uh, since we are not authorized to get registered ourselves, since we are not shipping line or NVOCC, there is SCMT team have defined one email ID or a help desk for all the parties who are having any issues or any trouble while registering themselves, so they can interact with them.
Fair enough. And there are a few more questions. Should I be raising it now, or do we wait for the entire presentation to get over? This was, during the course of the sessions I have picked up. So
I suggest, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
I suggest let us take this question because since we are not getting a new questions and presentation is already over, I think. Am I right, Kumar?
Yeah, so we can go ahead with the FAQs.
With FAQs.
So there are some basic questions which has been put forward. One is there any kind of a documentation or documents or files which needs to be shared with VOA after the uploading of the SCMT to IceGate?
First, for SCMT point of view, only we need to share our cargo identification number with shipping line, that is COA. If any specific COA is requiring any document from NVOCC or another COA, MLO, then only it will be required.
Okay. So there is this question from Mr. Rajat. We are unable to register due to the name change of our company and PAN remaining the same. So that's what he's asked. So is there any solution for you, or we can address this separately?
That can be addressed separately because since this is a bit registration related, so we need to seek help from IceGate team only.
Fair enough. The other question is, when is the revised implementation date of SCMT? And can a company have multiple registration?
First thing, revised date of SCMT implementation. SCMT has already gone live. Okay. At present, IceGate team, SCMT team is not considering those data. They are only considering import manufacturing, that is IGM or EGM. But after September, that is the 30th of September, they will be making it live and they will start considering those data as a manifestation.
Okay. There are a few questions even on the chat box. Let me just go through that. So I would suggest whatever queries you could put it in Q&A, it becomes easier. But then let me check. So there is this question from Mr. Sriram Swaminath. If you are representing an international NVOCC as an agent in India, you have to register as ASA or NVOCC?
You have to register yourself as a NVOCC.
Okay. So one doubt, this is from Sudhinder. One doubt related to SAM. In the normal BL, we have to file the IEC code, as I learned from SCMT. So,
Sir, could you come again with question, because I can't see this
yeah,
question.
so if you, this is in the chat box.
Okay, okay.
One doubt related to SAM. In the normal BL, we have to file the IEC code as I learned from SCMT. So
Okay.
not sure what the query there is.
Sir, could, yeah, related to SCM in the normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I will take that question, Sangam. So I got this in the chat section that in normal BL we have to file the IEC code in the, as I learned from SCMT. So they, if I'm not wrong, they wanted to understand that IEC code is mandatory or not as in the SCMT. If I guess the question is correct. Yeah.
So IC code, now what they SCMT team has given for all the Indian parties. Okay, in case of import, that consignee; in case of export, that is consigner. In all these cases, either we need to provide PAN number of that party or IC code for identification. Both will work. Any of one will work.
Okay.
So there's another question again in the chat box. I'll finish the questions in the chat box and then come to Q&A. So
Yes.
Next question is, in this SCMT registration, who will get benefits? CHA, freight brokers will get the benefit, and how?
Okay. Okay. In SCMT, actually all will get benefited. So let us go entity wise. First, let us go from bottom to top. That is freight forwarder or CHA first. First, if I am a CHA, at present, if I am not willing to share my BL details with shipping line, okay, or NVOCC,
Yeah.
which whatever the entity is,
Yeah.
I have all the freedom. I can file, I can use the master BL which is released by shipping line. I can file my CSN and I can share my reference number with shipping line only. So that shipping line will not able to come to know what all the consignees or shipper involved in my BL. So I am keeping my trade safe. Same with NVOCC. If I am an NVOCC or a COI, it means I am not operating the vessel. Okay. So in that case, if I am not willing to share my BL detail with my, because the party who is operating the vessel can be my competitor also, correct? So I don't need to share my all detail. I just need to share the reference number, okay, and everything will work accordingly on the basis of that reference number, and VOA will be able to file their manifest, that is a SAM or SDM.
Yeah. So just to add one more point to the Sangam's explanation, that as a industry we also need to understand that, see, this is going to be a game changer from the manifestation point of view, because the timeline impact will be major. So the information which is required to be submitted to the next level hierarchy will be very critical. And if you uses a system, any technological system like Codex, it simplifies your way of working. Now, how this will be beneficial for CHA and freight forwarders, because as a freight forwarder, you also need to take care of getting data, the accurate data from the customers from SCMT point of view. And secondly, if you want to generate the CSN on your own, you also need to take care the implications of technology, because that has to be generated in a specific JSON format. So whether your own system, because the next question is related to that, can we add your required pages in our customized software? So that is something from the technology perspective also one need to understand that
if ODEX is giving me a benefits of gathering all the information as per the mandatory regulations, will it be adding value to my existing software? So answer is yes, because see, we are not only providing a place to submit the data, we are also providing the intelligence where data will actually give value to the next level hierarchy. Then only it will be beneficial for the entire trade, entire chain in the stakeholders. So this is how we are categorically focusing on every aspects in the stakeholders, sir. Yes, sir.
Swapnil, does it have a cyclic effect in the sense, like if it is not done by a CHA forwarder, will it have its impact on the VOA till the VOA? How do you handle this?
Yes, correct. So now, as Sangam, I have already explained that you have two options. One is either you give a details, how your house details to as is to the shipping line, and then shipping line will work on the data, and then they will do their filing on the shipping line's manner. But if you give the ready-made output to the shipping line, which will act like an input for the shipping line, then it will save their time also. Even if in case of errors, data entry errors, it can be minimized at your level. If you are an USDC or the slot operator, then it will be minimized at your level itself, because you are giving the refined data to the next level. Similarly, if your customers also, if you are getting the data from the forwarders, your customers will also share the refined data to you. So this will add ultimate value, because the data correctness will be managed at that point itself.
Okay. Fair enough. So there are a few more queries. So there's one question from Sujata. Please advise whether both CM will be implemented from 1st October live.
Yeah, ODEX will be even at present scenario. ODEX is ready for SCMT. We have covered most of the scenario. We are awaiting from IceGate, that is SCMTR team, to share export ECI number with us, so we will be able to test our export manifest file also. So on ODEX also we are ready to go live, and of course SCMT team is also willing to go live with 1st of October.
So you already live with the CSLA also with regard to the facilities?
With a few couple of lines. We have already tested few messages, and we have received a positive response. That is a positive with the reference number. That number is only coming when there is no error in the message.
Fair enough.
So sir, so just to add one point here, sir. So from a system point of view, okay, what is required from every stakeholder, we have taken care of that thing. Okay, so whether it is NUCC, slot operator, feeder operator, or freight forwarder, they don't need to worry that what I need to submit and how I need to submit, because these two aspects will be taken care by system itself. Only thing that, as Sangam and Kumar also mentioning, that the more you the early you get used to the system, it will be more beneficial for you. And that is why we are very grateful to you as a employee members, as also the previous sessions where we have gathered all the queries respective from the straightforward point of view.
Right.
These kind of sessions helps trade to understand these regulations in a very simplified manner.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And there are a few basic questions. For a container operator, what entity is required? This is from Ashilish Bhatt.
From registration point
For
of view.
registration point of view, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. If you are a container operator, again, assuming that you are talking, if you are a NVOCC, right? So you need to get yourself registered as a ANC.
There's another question. Exact location and PIC at JNPT Customs, who's handling SCMTR registration.
So second floor, I think.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
second floor at Swapnil.
Yeah. So what we will do, sir, the locations, we are not sure the exact location location and person in charge, but
Actually,
we will
for
try
this
to get the email IDs. Yeah, email IDs of the concerned persons who is looking after the registration and other important things. So we also request Amtoy to have to arrange a similar kind of session for focusing only on the registration part, because as we can see from the chat as well as from the Q&A portion, that we are getting most 80% of the questions are related to the registration, that under which category I need to register. So as we request you consider this as a opportunity for having this session or registration separate session. But from the system point of view, our main objective of today's webinar is to, from system point of view, we are there to categorically focus on the compliance part, and that has been taken care. And once it is clear from the registration point of view, we are ready to roll. We are ready to go live. Yes, Sangam, sorry, you were discussing something.
Yeah. One more thing that I would like to add into your Swapnil. You said a compliance part. So even in future, if government is changing anything related to this SCMTR compliance, then we will take care for it. You just need to upload your data the way you will be doing at present, and you just need to follow the process which is defined as per ODEX. Output will be coming as per their requirement.
Correct. Because what is happening now, Biju sir, that most of the entities are already using OTEX for their house PL module if they are forwarders, and from as Kumar was showing the screens also, most of them are using from the Linus or NUSCC point of view also. So what we have done, we have not made any, done any new screens for them. We have updated the SCMTR information or the fields which is required under SCMTR in the same screen itself. So the existing users of ODEX who are already using the system will not, it will not be a complete new for them. So those who are not actually using or taking benefit of this current or existing model, they can also start using it for existing IGM and EGM filing or the house BL upload. Yes, sir.
Very much. There is another question from Mr. Marimutu. He says, we have done our mother license registration in IceGate. Please confirm whether child license registration is also compulsory. So it's again related to registration part.
Registration process. So from Sangam, would like to answer this or?
Again, if you are talking about mother license, so if it is related something, I am putting my interpretation. Like mother license means if you have a one PAN number and you have a different GST for different states, and you are willing to know whether this GST is applicable for your mother company or not. It means in one PAN you can stabilize your multiple companies, if I'm not wrong. So in that case, PAN number is required. So if PAN number is registered, you just need to create your branches.
Okay.
Because for every office location, let's take example. If you are a NVOCC and you are operating in multiple locations like Nhava Sheva, Mundra or Chennai. So for every location, you need to define an authorized person. So who will be representing your company for that location or filing this manifestation. Right. So you will be able to define your office locations.
So just to clarify it further, suppose you've got 10 offices across India, and you register your mother license from say Nhava Sheva. So for the other locations like maybe Kolkata, Chennai, or the ICD satellite ICDs, what do you suggest? So that would be child license, is it?
Yeah.
You don't have to again do it. It would be under the mother license. How do you cover it?
If PAN numbers are same.
Fine. So there are a couple of more queries, and I'll just run through them. And one of the important questions being asked is ODEX, did ODEX provide the solution for C cargo manifest or IAL? That is your import advanced list of terminals too.
Oh. See, let us divide all this thing. Manifest, that is IGM or SCMT EDI, that is SAM SDM, is completely related to IceGate. IL or EL, in case of import IL, in case of export EL, are related to terminal requirements. So we are providing both the facilities. If you are able to
Could you
generate
just
import,
elaborate for, I'm sure many would be hearing
yeah,
it for
yeah,
the first time. So IAL,
okay,
EAL, because it is going to replace, I believe, IGM and EGM, right? The terminologies. So for the
no,
benefit, of all, if
sorry.
you could, yeah.
Okay. First, let us understand what is required by customs. Customs want import manifestation or export manifestation. That can be IGM, EGM, or
Yeah.
in new SCMT scenario, it will be SAM, SDM for import and exports. Okay.
Correct.
So these are related to custom compliance. So if you are talking about SCMT compliance, then we are talking about this SAM, SDM. If you are talking about IL, EL, that is import advance list, export advance list, this data is completely required by terminal operator, an entity who is operating the terminal. They need this data. They are much bothered about the type of container which is going from the vessel and coming from the vessel. So they need to arrange their logistics and type of containers accordingly. So anyway, we are supporting both of the things. Not only the SCMT compliance, but all the terminal related EDI you will be able to generate from ODEX.
Other question, will there be line numbers after SCMT?
Okay. Yeah. In SCMT also line numbers are going to be there. Yeah, but I can understand about where this question is coming from. It will like, do we need to take slots from our vessel operator? Yeah, you have to take slots from your vessel operator because at the end of the day, you have agreement with them on the basis of EUs or container size. Okay, so you need to take care of for this. But yeah, for IGM, it was mandatory to start your manifest detail from some line number. Let's take example. Some shipping line has given you a line number from 100 to 150. So you need to start your line number from 100, 101, 102 and 150 onwards. For here, in case of SCMT, you don't need to worry about that line number. You just need to create your EDI and share with respective VOA or IceGate.
Okay. So there is a little clarity which has been brought now by Sudhirna. In this question, he's asking, we need to inform our counterpart to mention the IEC code and PAN card of consignees and notify party in the BL. If consolidated cargo, how can we mention the invoice value? Can cargo value be mentioned? Can we show zero? Will it be able to
First
say-
thing, see, cargo value is not a important, not a mandatory data which is required by SCMT. That is the optional one. First thing, if you are providing something zero, it means you are telling that your cargo value is zero. So instead, don't provide that data.
Right.
Because in case of this number, zero is not equal to null.
Right.
Okay? So you don't need to provide this data.
So probably that would have answered the query.
Yeah, just to add, sorry, Vijay, sir. Yeah, just to add one point in this particular question that they wanted to understand whether they need to inform their counterpart to mention the IEC code or and PAN card of consignee and notify party in the BL. So as Sangam explained that if it is an Indian entity, we are repeating it. If the consignee is Indian entity, then you need to provide the IC or PAN number of that consignee. And in case of export, if the consigner is an Indian entity, then you also need to provide the PAN card and IC of that particular consignor if it is an Indian entity. So that I think simplifies the answer for us.
Second thing, if your counterpart is filing CSN, it means they are not willing to share their house BL details with you. So definitely you are not going to get their PAN number. You will only be getting the reference number against your master BL. Okay, if they are sharing their entire data with you and they want you to file on behalf of them, then definitely they will have to share all the details, because without this data, that filing cannot be done.
Then they have, this is from again Ashlesh, as you informed in the last session, ASA can be file document of ANC, hence no need for separate registration of ANC. Could you kindly advise?
Yeah, because see, in every scenario, a line or a NGOCC can, a line I should say, cannot act as a AN, sorry, can file document. Yeah, so no separator. Yes, it means if ANC is will, ANC want ASA to file data on behalf of them. Okay, the way you are doing at present. Okay,
Yeah.
even in prevent scenario, ANC that can be forwarder or NVOCC. So I will take the reference and name of that entity so that we are a bit clear. At prevent also, if you are sharing your entire detail with shipping line and they are filing on behalf of you.
Right.
If you want to continue that, this, but if you want to encapsulate your entire data and don't want to share, then only you need to file with custom direct. In that case, if you are not registered, then you have to share your all the details with your party, that is a vessel operator or the party who issued you the BA.
Right. So we've got another 8 to 9 minutes to go, maybe a couple of more questions for you, Sanjam and team. This one. Yeah, so in case of any amendments or changes to be done, how much time we will be having to avoid any penalty? I think this was covered in the presentation, but then you can, for the benefit of all, could you just repeat it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
See, what SCMT is telling, in case of import before C departure, sorry, entry inwards, no permission required from customs. Then up to that time, all the amendments will be accepted. But if you are not a vessel operator, then you need to check with your vessel operator whether that SCI is done or not. First thing. Second, if you are filing your CSN, then you can do amendment into your CSN only, because the reference number is not going to be changed. Okay, and if you are sharing your entire data, then again you need to reshare your data with them and they will be filing the amendment.
Great. So this Sujata again, she's asking how ODEX supporting the feeder operators, which was mentioned in the presentation. Like if we have slot on vessel and we currently only provide advanced load list details to the vessel operators and then directly process the EGM.
Okay. Hi ma'am, I assume if you're talking about feeder operator, it means that I will put all the two possibility which I can understand from you. First thing, if you are trading the slots from a vessel, okay, it means from a shipping line you have purchased that 100 slot and you are reselling it to two different entity, 50 and 52 different entity. In that case, that party will directly deal with that party will directly share the data with the party who issued the who is operating the vessel. Second thing, if you are willing to understand about the feeder vessel operator point of view, okay, how the feeder operator will be working. In case of feeder operator, the entity will be working as a vessel operator only. It means there is a transshipment from a mother vessel to a feeder vessel. I hope I have answered from both of the angles.
Yeah.
So Sangam, if yes sir, Biju sir, sorry. So they, I think Sujata ma'am wanted to understand that in addition to the existing advanced load list which they are sharing to the vessel operator, what are the new things which is they need to consider in SCM?
No, they don't need to share anything. Even at prevent scenario, also in case of IGM or EGM, they are not sharing their details with shipping line. They are only sharing the advanced list, because they just need to share the list of containers that is going to be loaded. In case of manifestation detail sharing part, the party whom this data is this slot is sold, that is directly sharing with shipping line. So that will remain continue.
Yeah. There's another important question being raised. ODEX tested all the files as per SCMTR guidelines on IceGate. What is the response from IceGate and in which format?
Yeah. Thanks. We have tested most of the messages from a few couple of lines from live environment. As I said, at present, SCMT team is not considering data which is available on production. But if someone is willing to test, they have to get themselves registered first. So we have a few shipping lines. We are in touch with them, and from them we have tested the message, and we have received the positive response. That is a cargo identification number. In case of success only, those acknowledgement files are in JSON format.
Yeah.
Okay. And this file can be read on ODEX directly.
Great. So we've got a couple of more minutes just in case someone has any query. They can always put it in Q&A. Else, we are just coming to the end of this wonderful session, wherein we would definitely thank the whole team of ODEX for the knowledge sharing. And anybody in future also wants to have an interaction with them, they can always approach us also. Then can be routed directly to them for all their specific queries. So maybe I'll wait for a couple of more minutes, else we will end up in a short while. Anything more which you would like to highlight? And Rohit, of course, you've not there, invisible, but thanks a lot for all the hard work, the groundwork you've done to make this happen, especially for our members in the Box Operators Forum. And I think this is more of a knowledge session for most of us. Most of us, I'm sure, is still very new to this SCMTR. So as we progress, partnering with ODEX would definitely help us. Anything which you would like to add up or summarize before we sign off?
Yes, sir. There is one more thing.
Yeah.
In future, if you have any query, you can communicate with us via our email ID, that is SCMTR helpline. Swapnil, if you can share those email ID, if you have any, if you have any mail communication which we are having, we can share it.
Yes, so I think Rohit has already, what I'll do, I will share it on the chat box to all attendees.
I share on the screen.
Yeah, so I think Kumar is also sharing on the screen.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
So what I'm doing, sir, I'm putting it in the chat box for any queries. Yes, correct.
This is the email ID, SCMTR helpline at odex.co.
So further, if you have any query, you can send it on the SCMTR helpline @odex.co. We will reply on these queries. And further, as Swapnil mentioned, that we required help from the MTOI to organize one session regarding only for registration purpose. So where we can handle the registration queries.
Yeah. So just to summarize from our point of view, we said that we wanted industry or the trade members to aware that we are ready from system point of view to make you ready. So those who have any specific questions, they can write us on this email ID, which we have also mentioned on chat box. And if anyone wants to conduct the demonstration session for their own organizations also, so we are very much looking forward to that aspects also. So our team will definitely look forward to assist on organization to organization basis for demonstrations for their team members.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So today was a healthy participation, 120 in all, including 5 panelists. And I'm sure we would all have benefited or have got some of our questions clarified. So thank you once again for all your time taken for participating in this particular workshop. ODEX team, once again, thanks a lot for knowledge sharing. And we look forward to more interactions with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Viju sir,
Thank you,
thanks,
sir.
entire employee team.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, and we sign off
Thanks,
now.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.